Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to start the May reading vlog, and this for me is a very exciting vlog. You can't even imagine how much, because this is the start of my sabbatical. I am starting a sabbatical in May. I have talked about it in previous videos a little bit, so I'm not going into depth here, but it's something that I have been waiting for a very long time, and something I definitely need as well. I think like health-wise definitely need it. But that aside, I hope it will also mean that I can do even more reading this year, which I'm excited about because, as you know, the goal is to read down the TBR. So, what are we going to do next? Very simple. I'm going to tell you which books I'm currently reading so you know what to expect from the next couple of updates of this vlog. First of all, I'm listening to an audiobook, and that is Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in the Book and Rose trilogy, and I will do a complete reading vlog for that trilogy, so I probably won't talk a lot about it here. This is a Venetian-inspired fantasy where we're following kind of a con artist main character. It's also giving me some Westrid family vibes if you have read the Life Ship Traders series. So far I'm 25, no, not quite 25% in. I think it's like 23%. And I'm really liking it. I'm having a great time. This is kind of curing my little audiobook slump I had going on in April. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited to continue listening to this. For my eyeball read, I'm currently reading an audiobook from my library, and that is James by Percival Everett. This is a Huckleberry Finn kind of retelling. I have not read the original story, so I actually have no idea what to expect, where things will go, but I prefer it that way. So I will definitely continue on reading this. I'm so far really enjoying it. I think Percival Everett is kind of like a one-of-a-kind author, so I'm definitely excited to read more of his books. I had already read The Trees earlier in the year and really loved it. That was a fantastic audiobook experience I had, especially with all of these accents that were in the audiobook. And that is more of a satire that then turns very dark. And yeah, this one is a little bit different because we have this retelling. It has a little bit more of a historical feeling. Yeah, so I'll keep you updated how it goes, but so far I'm really enjoying it, and I'm very excited to now have the mental capacity to continue reading it. Then I also have a book checked out from the library that I need to get to very quickly, or it will be taken away again, and that is I Who Have Never Known Men. So I will try to be quite quick with both of these ebooks. They're not very long, so it should work out, and those will be my next read. I have uploaded a May TBR video. If you're interested in that, you can go and check it out. And so far, I haven't started any of these books, so we'll see how that will go. But yeah, we'll talk again when something interesting happens. So today's the 2nd of May, and I gotta be honest, I'm a bit worried that this, like, I will update this vlog like every day, and this will be like horrible and long. But yeah, this is kind of like where we test the waters. I am now almost 2/3 of the way through James, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the book before I finish it, and I'm pretty sure I will finish it tonight. I also just forgot to put the mic in position, so the audio was probably a bit off for that part. So sorry. So yeah, James. We are following a character called James, and he is a slave in the south of America. And at the beginning of the book, he lives with his family, and then he learns that he is about to be sold. And to avoid that, he decides to run away, and he is joined by Huckleberry Finn. And so the two, they go on this like big adventure. And what is quite special about the way the story is told is that James is a very intelligent man. He can read and write, and he has also taught other slaves to read. And so he is basically also teaching them to speak in the way that makes them sound like really dumb, and that way like non-threatening to the white people around them, but they are actually like very intelligent. And so you have this thing where when the slaves are talking with each other, they are using a very different tone from when they're talking to white people or in the vicinity of white people. And the way this is portrayed is like very interesting, and it kind of turns this like idea on its head that because these slaves were like so precarious in their circumstances, that because of that they were like stupid and uneducated, it kind of turns that on its head and shows that just being like stupid and uneducated is like a defense mechanism against like white people who would feel threatened as soon as a slave would show any type of intelligence. And I think this way of portraying it is very interesting. And I have read The Trees, I said, from this author this year, and I think both of these are kind of like reminiscent of this trope of like the black people actually being the very smart ones, because they also in this case need the skill to survive. And so I think that is like a very interesting perspective, and it definitely helps like reframe kind of like narratives about slavery that are still like very prevalent, I guess. So I'm really enjoying that. I love James as a character. I definitely feel for him. I want to protect him, and yeah, he goes through some quite traumatic stuff where you fear for him quite a lot. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes. As I have not read the original text, I have no idea where it will go. I thought I would read like a Wikipedia summary of Huckleberry Finn after I finished the book and see like the comparisons and all of that. I think what's also interesting, and that is a little tiny bit of a spoiler, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep it vague maybe. But both in The Trees and in this book, we have this theme of like white passing, but also people not even knowing that they're not white. And I think that is like a very interesting thing, because like obviously there was a lot like going on with like white people and them abusing their slaves in different ways. And yeah, I just think that's very interesting, because I think a lot of like the white people in the US, they're not like pure lily white as they would probably perceive themselves to be. So I'm really enjoying this book. I'm going to finish it hopefully today, and I'll let you know how I'm rating it. So I did finish reading James last night, and I really enjoyed this book. I'm happy to report. I gave it 4.5 stars. It is a similar rating to The Trees for me personally. Now, I think I enjoyed The Trees even a little bit more. It was a little bit more my kind of book because of the satirical tone, and I think it just went some more places. And yeah, I had a really good time with The Trees. However, James was also really good, and I especially loved the ending of the book. Now, this is a very tense read because you're really worried about James for the whole book. And so it was definitely, yeah, something else to like read this. And there is a lot of terrible things happening in the book, obviously. This is a book about slavery, so you have to prepare yourself for a lot of abuse and violence and just terrible, terrible things. However, I think this book does something like quite unique with a slavery kind of narration. And for the ending, without spoiling anything, I would say that it does get a little bit a touch of Django Unchained, and I really, really love that. So, yeah, if you're picking this book up, I think you are going to enjoy it. However, there are like very dark things that happen along the way. This is still an adventure story because we're still following James on his way through this world that is like so extremely dangerous for him as a runaway slave. But he is just such a strong character in a sense that he's just written so well, and you just really get it. You really know why he's there, what he's trying to achieve, why he's doing all of this, that you just like you're like with him like every step of the way. So I absolutely enjoyed this one, would highly recommend if you haven't picked this book up yet. It was one of the most popular books of last year, so maybe you already have. Then I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments as well. But we're moving right along to my next library hold that I really need to get to because I only have 3 more days to read it. So I hope to read it this weekend. And I don't think I said that, but today is just the 3rd of May. This vlog is going to be hours long. However, the next book I'm going to pick up is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jaqueline Harpman. I don't know how to say her last name. She is a Belgian author, I believe. So she wrote her book originally in French. This is translated. It was already written in the 90s, and this is a dystopian novel, so I need it for my magical readathon year in Eldia prompt, which is to read a dystopian novel. So this is very short. I plan on reading it today and tomorrow, so I'm not quite sure whether I even will do a halfway update with that one because it is so short, but I'll decide that tomorrow. You will see what happens. But I'm very excited to read this book because I have heard nothing but quite enthusiastic stuff about it. And I know that this is one of those books where you don't really get a lot of answers, so I'm going into this knowing that, and I hope I will really love it. So next time we speak, hopefully I know more. So today is the 5th of May and I'm coming to you with another reading update. So far, we have been really quick with the things, but I think that is going to turn around a little bit because I am going to start some bigger books now. But yesterday I finished reading I Who Have Never Known Men, which was quite the hyped book. So I was intrigued to see how I would like it. I wasn't quite sure. This is a dystopian kind of sci-fi novel that was written in the 90s, and we follow a unnamed young woman who is basically growing up in this cage with 39 other women. Nobody knows why they're there, how they've gotten there, and they've lived in this cage for 12 years, I think, around 12 years-ish, and we follow them as things change, I would say. This is kind of like the broadest way to talk about this book. So I didn't do a halfway update with this one because it would be very hard to talk about this book. It is just very strange. I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed the writing style. I think the translation worked really well and I had a good time reading it, so I would definitely recommend if you're still on the fence of checking it out. This was not like a 5-star read for me. It did not change my life or anything like that. I think some people are like way more enthusiastic about it than I am, but I still think it was quite an interesting thought experiment where we dive deep into this question of like what makes us human and how like circumstances and just our environment can impact the way we grow up and who we will be as we are like aging and stuff. So yeah, it was interesting. It definitely had me intrigued. I think that it has the perfect length. It's not too long because it doesn't really give you a lot of answers. It's just this more like philosophical question of what would a person be like if they grew up in this way. So I think like dragging that out too long would have been a little bit weird, but I think it definitely balanced everything quite well. In the end, I gave it 4 stars and I definitely don't regret reading it. As I said, I read that for my year of Eldia for the Magical Readathon, so that's ticked off for May already. And now it is time to start with my Asian Readathon TBR, and I'm gonna start out with the big one, and that is The Spear Cuts Through Water. This is a buddy read with my booktube friend Clio, so I'm not quite sure how fast we will read this, and I'm actually quite glad we are doing this together, so I will take a little bit more my time with it because I definitely think that this is a very special book, even though I have no idea what it's about. But from what I've heard, like vibe-wise, I think I will probably want to take my time with this one. However, I will do a complete reading vlog for this one, as Simon Jimenez is one of the authors I wanted to try this year, so I probably won't talk about it here much, but this is the next book I'm picking up. For my audiobook, which I'm also doing a separate reading vlog for, Mask of Mirrors, I'm now almost at the halfway point. I'm a little bit scared because I read in a group chat that was like a buddy read for this series last year, which I completely missed out on. But I read that around where I'm at right now, something is going to happen. So now I'm a little bit scared and worried. But I think I will reach that halfway point today. And yeah. This one is going quite well too. I'm definitely enjoying what I've read so far, but I'm also now a little bit scared of what's going to happen. So we'll see about that. But I'll definitely still keep you updated, but I think now we'll have a little bit of a bigger break before I talk to you again. So I just came home from the hairdresser. Not that you could really tell, but we have a mystery package. And I think someone is trying to ruin my zero TBR. And on Discord, we were joking that my only rule for the zero TBR is to make it as hard as possible. So let's see what this is. Ooh, I have an idea. I have an idea who potentially could have gotten this. Oh no, it's Clio! Oh my god. Oh, that's so sweet. And oh my god, oh, that's so nice. Okay, so, book. I think this has been made into a movie last year. So, yeah, I've had this on my TBR, on my wish list for like ages. But now I got it. That's so exciting. So today is the 8th of May and today I'm leaving for a little trip to Berlin. I am very excited because I haven't been in quite a long time. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Today is also the day of kind of the liberation from fascism in Germany. So in Berlin this year, this is a bank holiday, which I was not aware of, but learned a couple of days ago. However, I booked myself a tour in the Jewish Museum for that occasion. So I'm definitely intrigued to see how that will go. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how much I will film because yeah, I just want to be in the moment and listen to all the stuff I can probably learn from that tour. But I'm definitely very excited about it. And then later tonight, I will also go out with a former colleague to have some dinner. So that's the plan for today. First of all, we have to get to Berlin safely. So yeah, let's go. Also, maybe one more thing, I'm going to bring a butter with me to read on the train because I have that as an ebook. And I also plan on visiting some bookstores on Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. I have just done all the calculations for my TBR goals. And honestly, I cannot buy more books or it will be impossible. So let's make it as hard as possible, right? So I made it to the hotel. Unfortunately, I was very nauseous on the train, so I couldn't really read. I read about half of a chapter of Butter, but then I switched to my audiobook and I listened to quite a good chunk of Mask of Mirrors, which is really, really good. And yeah, I think I'm more than 2/3 of the way through now, like almost 3/4 of the way through. So it's getting intense for sure. And yeah, so I did some reading. Not the reading I thought I would do. So now the question is, do I rest a little bit or do I go and look for food? Because yeah, I do have that like guided tour I want to do. And there's still a little bit of time before that. Very glad that I was allowed to check in early. So I can leave all the unnecessary stuff in my room. That's really good.
Буду жить до 120 лет, еще в этом не думаю.
So today is the end of my second day in Berlin, and yesterday I went to the Jewish Museum and did the tour, and it was just great. It was a really, really good tour, focusing on Jewish life during and after the Nazis basically in Germany. So that was really great, and I would really recommend if you ever come to Berlin that you go check out this museum. And then last night I met up with a former colleague, and today I met up with a friend. So I didn't really film anything. We were just like hanging out, having lots of delicious food, spending some time together because we hadn't met up in a very long time. So yeah, that was just very lovely. I did read some more of Butter, and I listened to quite a bit of Mask of Mirrors. So I was spending quite some time today on public transport, so that was perfect for listening to the audiobook. And yeah, I'm like really intrigued to get to the end. I think I have about 4 hours left now, so that should be done quite soon. And yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see how this book ends because it's pretty wild. But yeah, you will get a whole reading vlog for that series, so not spoiling too much here for that. But yeah, I'm getting some reading done. Also read a little bit more of Butter, and it's not that late right now because my friend has children, so we broke the evening off quite early. So I think I'm just gonna relax now, maybe watch some YouTube, maybe read a little bit more of Butter, and yeah, just end the day. And then tomorrow, what I hope I will do, because my train won't leave until like in the afternoon, so I really hope to go to some bookstores and not buy books. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. I don't know if I will do anything else, if I will still check out another museum or something. But yeah, I also don't have like a ton of time. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just have a little bit more of a slow morning, then check out the bookstores, and then get on the train back home. So today is the 12th of May and it is time for a reading update because I have finished a book, which is even surprising to me because I'm reading like 10 books at a time. I'm not really making a great amount of progress in any of these, but however, let me just tell you what I've finished and then let's talk about all the books I'm currently reading. I finished reading Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in the Book and Rose trilogy. I'm doing a whole reading vlog for that, so not going to talk lots about it here. However, I have to say it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Here I was saying I'm not in a fantasy mood, and then I pick up this book. It's curing my audiobook slump and it's just good. I was a little bit hesitant to give it 5 stars, but then I was like, you know, what's keeping me from it? I think the only thing is that I listened to the ending of this a little bit chopped up just because I was traveling to Berlin, and so some of the chapters I maybe wasn't like giving like all of my attention. I think I would have loved it even more if I read it physically for that part, but it was still great. And so I decided to give it those 5 stars. It's well deserved. It's an amazing story. I had so much fun with it, and I will definitely pick up the sequel very, very soon. It was just very good. It was just very, very good. There's nothing else I can really say that wouldn't go like into details, but if you like heist stories, if you like fantasy stories about like crime stuff, if you like dingy cities, if you like dream worlds, magic with dreams, which I love a lot, then definitely go check this one out. I feel like this was the adult big brother of Six of Crows, because also there is this like one crime guy, Vargo, and I feel like he is the big sexy brother of whatever the gang leader was called in Six of Crows. Very, very good. Very good. Highly recommend. Such a great book. So that is what I have finished. Now let me talk about the books I'm currently reading, how far into them I'm currently. So I am 25% into Spear Cuts Through Water, still a buddy read with my friend Clio from the channel Bemused Bookworm, still a book I'm doing a complete reading vlog on, so not going to talk tons here, but also amazing. Also amazing. This is the reason why I should not talk about not being in a fantasy mood, because if a book like this hits me, I'm always in a fantasy mood. It's just great so far. Then I started this book yesterday. In English, it is called Call Your Daughter Home by Deb Spera. This is a book set in 1920s in the American South, and this is about 3 women who don't really have a lot to do with each other, but are coming together in a way. So far, they're not really coming together yet, so I can't tell you why, but yeah, this is a book my mom gave me, and I'm reading this for a readathon that will probably have its own vlog. Then I'm also still reading Butter as my current ebook. I'm halfway through Butter, struggling with that a little bit, but I'm trying to finish it still because it is for Asian Readathon. So yeah, I don't know, me and the book, we're just not clicking right now. I think I will also talk about that in a different vlog. I'm not quite sure about that yet. And then I also want to start a new book now, a new audiobook, and that is Into the Riverlands by Nghi. This is the 3rd book in the Singing Hills cycle. Finally, I'm continuing on with this series. I love it so much. This is a series of novellas where we follow a character called Chi, and Chi goes around and collects stories. So these novellas all have like this fairy tale vibe because we get told these stories that Chi is collecting. So I can't wait to get into this 3rd installment, and I will also read that for Asian Readathon as well as the other readathon I'm participating in right now. This one fits both, which is great, and it's only 2.5 hours long on audio, so I should be finished with that very soon, maybe even before we end this vlog. Do I hope to finish any of these other books by then? Maybe Butter, but the hope is not very, very strong. We'll see. But at least you will get one more update before I finish this vlog off, and we'll see. Maybe something interesting happens up until then. So today is the 14th of May, and with today I think I will end the first part of this monthly vlog. I feel like this first half of the month has been very chaotic, and I'm sorry about that. I feel like the vlog makes no sense at all. I am reading so many books at once and making like no progress in like a vloggable way, which is definitely annoying to me. However, to end this vlog off, I do have one more book that I finished, and this one is one from my May TBR. The thing is, like, participating in two readathons that don't really mesh together very well was not a very smart idea, and I don't know why I thought it would be. Let's just not ponder on that too long, okay? So yeah, I have finished one more book. It is a novella, so I've only read like the shortest books of my TBR so far, and that was Into the Riverlands by Nghi. This is the third novella in the Singing Hills cycle, and again, I enjoyed this one a whole lot. I really love this series. It has this like very fairy tale-esque style where she goes around and collects stories from people they meet on the way. They also have this like companion creature bird, almost brilliant, which I love. She's so cute. And yeah, they just go around collecting stories, and in this third installment they're in the Riverlands, which is a region that is very famous for the martial arts. There's a lot of like brawls and fights, and yeah, while they are on this journey with two other girls and then also meeting up with an older woman and an older man, they are traveling through the Riverlands and exchanging stories about this region. And this one definitely focuses on this concept that, you know, a story is not like what really happened. A story has to like hit certain plot points or follow certain tropes. It also discusses the idea of beautiful women in stories, and that all the women who are not like beautiful in a story automatically have to be ugly. There is not really an in-between, which makes no sense because in real life, I guess most of the people are just like average looking. So yeah, it was really interesting. I loved the themes. It just felt like the other ones were just a little bit more cohesive in their story arc. This one felt a little bit more muddled to me, so I gave it 4 stars, but I still really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend if you want to check out the Singing Hills cycle. It is such a like wonderful like hug in a book, kind of, because yeah, you don't have like the highest stakes. Like, there's always something going on, don't get me wrong, but because you know that she is just out there collecting these stories, while they also get into trouble and they also get into danger, you know that it's gonna be fine in a way. I just love that. I love Chi. They have just such a relatable character as well. Yeah, it's amazing. Try it. So that would be the only book that I have finished now. This is all like a little bit of a mess, but I am now more than halfway through Spear Cuts Through Water as well. This is a buddy read, so yeah, this is going really well. I'm really enjoying this one, and we'll finish this in the second half of the month. I'm very excited about it. And also, I have to say, like, I did Clio, the booktuber I'm doing the buddy read with, dirty in my TBR, because I called her out for being a little bit chaotic with her reading this year, and she has been like the best, most consistent buddy reader. So I have to set the record straight. Our buddy read is going very well, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the book, and it's like amazing. So check Clio out if you haven't already. Her channel is great. I think apart from that, nothing has really happened from my last update. I'm still halfway through Butter. I'm still a quarter of the way through Call Your Daughter Home. So for the rest of the month, I will definitely continue reading all of these and prioritize finishing these. I also still want to read all the other books on my May TBR, so we're concentrating on those as well. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. You'll see that in a couple of weeks when the next part of this vlog comes out. So if you don't want to miss that, definitely subscribe. I would love to have you here. And also leave a like and a nice comment, because I always really appreciate those. And with that, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!